Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. Global news reports that 4 Canadian passengers from the Hantavirus-infected MV Hondius cruise ship have arrived safely in Victoria, BC, and are now under a 42-day monitoring period. According to Dr. Bonnie Henry, BC's top doctor, the 4 individuals, comprising a couple from Yukon, a BC resident, and a BC native living abroad, were screened upon arrival and remain asymptomatic. They have been transferred to secure, pre-arranged lodgings for a minimum of 21 days of complete isolation, with daily monitoring by public health teams. The initial 21-day isolation period will now begin from their arrival in Canada, as a French passenger developed symptoms quickly. Captain John Dobrogoski praised the perseverance of passengers and crew during the difficult voyage, which saw 3 deaths and 6 infections globally. While Hantavirus is typically spread from rodents, the Andes strain identified allows for rare human-to-human transmission. Health officials, including WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, emphasized that the risk to the public is low, and this is not comparable to the COVID-19 pandemic. CBS News reports on the latest developments regarding Americans who were potentially exposed to hantavirus during a cruise ship journey. These individuals have now returned to the United States and are under quarantine. A group of 16 passengers is currently housed at the University of Nebraska Medical Center, which is known for its specialized biocontainment facilities. Additionally, 2 other passengers are undergoing quarantine at Emory University in Atlanta. Ian Lee provides the report on these details, highlighting the ongoing public health measures. U.S. consumer prices climbed sharply again last month, with a 3.8% increase from April 2025, as the 10-week war with Iran pushed energy prices higher. According to data released by the Labor Department, April prices rose 0.6% from March, a slowdown from the 0.9% increase seen from February to March. Gasoline prices alone surged 5.4% in April and are up more than 28% compared to a year ago, reaching over 4.5 B-cors per gallon, a 44% rise from last year. This increase is largely attributed to Iran's response to attacks by the United States and Israel, which involved shutting off access to the Gulf of Hormuz, a critical passageway for a fifth of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas. Excluding volatile food and energy costs, core consumer prices rose a more modest 0.4% last month and 2.8% year over year, indicating the energy shock has not yet broadly affected other prices. However, inflation is now considered a key drag on the U.S. economy, with average hourly wages, after accounting for inflation, falling 0.3% from a year earlier, the first such drop in 3 years. The Federal Reserve, which had been expected to cut interest rates in 2026, has adopted a cautious stance, waiting to assess the conflict's duration and potential wider inflationary impacts. Companies like Whirlpool are already reporting revenue drops and recession-level industry decline due to the war's effect on consumer confidence. This report is from the Canadian Press. The Ontario Provincial Police, OPP, have recovered the bodies of a child and an adult from Lake Erie. The 2 boaters were reported overdue earlier on Monday. Their bodies were discovered by a passing boater more than 3.5 kilometers from shore in an area of St. Williams-on-Tee. The Canadian Coast Guard assisted in recovering the individuals from the water. OPP Sergeant Ed Sanchuk, speaking in a social media video, extended his deepest condolences to the friends and family of the deceased, acknowledging the profound grief they must be experiencing. Further details are expected to be released as the investigation progresses. Global News. A new poll by the Angus Reid Institute indicates a notable shift in Canadian public sentiment, with the majority now expressing support for liquefied natural gas, LNG, and oil pipelines. This includes residents of British Columbia, a province that historically showed significant opposition to such projects. The survey reveals that 61% of British Columbians favor Enbridge's West Coast natural gas pipeline system. a stark contrast to 2012 when 57% opposed the Northern Gateway project. Nationally, 61% of Canadians now believe economic growth is more important than environmental protection, a sentiment shared by 59% of British Columbians. This marks a significant change from 2019, when environmental protection was the priority for 55% of the population. The article also notes that nearly 1 in 3 Canadians feel the federal government is managing new pipeline construction appropriately, an increase from previous years. This evolving public opinion suggests a growing emphasis on economic development across the country. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.